Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode in the making our tile game. We're going to be working on lesson 8. I've already copy and pasted the lesson 7 folder, and I'd like you to add a new folder. So you can click on new folder or right click in here called images. And we're going to be using the Kinney from, you can just search Kinney assets. It's www.kinney.nl, and I go to 2D assets. We'll be using the top-down shooter for the most part for our assets. Kenny's website's really cool. It's very neat. Has lots of different images and assets for games, including sound. I downloaded that and extracted it, and I just pulled out the manbluegun.png for our top-down shooter tile game, and I left that in our images folder as a subfolder inside lesson 8. Now that we've done that, it's time to add a player image to our game. So if we'll go to settings, if you can add image files as another kind of comment in our settings, and I have player image file, we'll be doing manbluegun.png. That's the name of it. Okay, once you've added that, we're going to go ahead and go to our main, and we're going to load this image. So if you would just kind of make some space here and let's add a comment. So I'm going to call this load all images, whereas this is load game. So this will be self.load images. So we're going to have lots of images to load. So let's go ahead and make a method just for doing that. Okay, so remember we've already created, see here, our game directory. So we can comment on that to make it easy. This is the directory of our, our folder, if you will, of our game, which for us is actually tile game / lesson 8 right now, but we just need to know it as self.game directory. So now when we load our images, we'll start with the player image. So I'm going to just make something called player image file. And I'm going to use os.path.join. We'll be joining our game folder with, actually no, let's call this the image folder. And I'm actually going to make that, I need that first. So we'll go here. I want to go ahead and put self on that, or nah, I don't need to. We don't need to have a reference to it outside of this method. So this is a good time to remind you. If I put self in front of this, then I can access it over here or down here in load game. If I don't, then I can only use this variable in this method. It's a good idea not to have too many variables with self in it. One, it uses up memory. Two, it just gets confusing when you have that many properties. If they're not important to the overall application for just using them for this one moment, then there's no point. So my images folder, since I'll only be loading images here, we shouldn't need it to be self. I'll be joining my game folder with the folder called images. Now, if we're in Windows, this is really just going to put a slash in between our unit 8 / images. But in like a Macintosh or a Linux, it could be a different kind of slash, things like that. So different operating systems have different ways of routing to different subfolders, or subdirectories. So I'm kind of mixing the word directory and folder. I should probably say directory, but I just kind of use the folder. So that's why I use os.path.join. So it will get what operating system our user is using and do it in a way that that person playing our game's computer likes it so it doesn't break. All right, now we're going to take, not game folder, let's get rid of that, images folder. And we'll join with that our player image file name, I think is what I called it. Let me double check. Player, it's just player image file. Okay. So we've got the player image file. Again, I'm not putting self in front of that. I just don't want to. I just want a name of the file with all the proper path. We had the name of the image, but now we've got it with the correct directory and subdirectory path. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see all that. Okay. Hopefully you can. It's not too small. Now I'm going to make the player image, and this one I definitely want to put the word self in because I definitely going to need to access this elsewhere. So we load images in Pygame with pygame.image.load, and then the name of the file, which for us is player image file. And I'm going to automatically call a method on this image. I could do this on a separate line. I could load it like that and then say self.playerImage equals self.playerImage.convert alpha. And what this does is it's going to make our image the right image settings to appear on our screen that we've created in Pygame. And when I say convert alpha, that means I will maintain any transparency in the PNG. If I just put convert or don't convert at all, it will not. It will have like white instead of transparency. And the convert alpha actually returns a brand new image. So that's why I've got to store it back in myself. Well, so this is such a common thing. We just put it right there at the end of that. So that's what I'm going to do instead. Okay, we've got our image. It's time for us to make it happen. So we'll go to, let me save that, and we go to my sprites. And we just need to add the image to it. So let's see here. Where are we going to do that? Should be in the constructor, I would say. Right here in the init. There we go. So right now we have our self.image is just a surface. Well, let's make our self.image equal to, we need to access our main. So I need to go back to my main application, which was sent to it as game. So game or self.game, we can use either one here. I'll say self.game dot, and what was the name of that property? Player image. All right, and I think that should pretty much work. Let's see. Now I copied over a new kind of map too that I wanted to use, so we'll see how that looks. It's a little bit bigger. Let's see, application game folder. Doesn't have a game folder. Oh, game directory. Fine, I'll call it dir for directory, and I'll call this dir as well. Oops, it's got mad at me. There we go. All right, so I'm going to try and be consistent and use directory. That's the more professional name anyway, I suppose. Oh, and I didn't mean to click on that. Click on this little disk here to save. All right. Try that. Okay. Well, it did not load my image. Still a red square. It's a bigger red square, though. Oh, because I said screen self.image.fill. Oops, we need to get rid of that. And let's change the comment. So we'll just make this load our image. There we go. Trying again. Okay, there we go. And we can still run into walls and get stopped. Like I said, there's a different main here. Different map, excuse me, that I kind of been playing with. So hopefully you've got a map you enjoy. All right, that's it for this lesson. And in the next lesson, we'll keep working with these images.